definitely a very good time that we're living in. Good and bad. Good in terms of, we have always been talking about the coming of Christ, and we've always been talking about, the crisis, the coming crisis, and bad. It's just to get ready. So we will. Our topic for today is inflammation. I'm here just waiting for the screen to be shared. Let me know when you have seen the screen. Let me open up. Good. Are you seeing the screen?
I am. Yes, I'm seeing it.
Okay, awesome. All right. Great. All right. So today we will look at inflammation, and inflammation is, I think it's a big thing now because so many persons are suffering from so many different illnesses, and inflammation is one of the biggest cause of these illnesses. So before, let us say a quick word of prayer, and then we will head right into the study. Dear Lord, thank you so much for your many blessings. Thank you for your Sabbath day of rest. Thank you for your health message, dear Lord. And as we come before you, I ask, dear Lord, that whatever is spoken of today will be edifying. Dear Lord, it will be encouraging, as we are all on the same journey and we go through similar things. Lord, I pray that you will help us, Lord, to heed this warning. Help us to take up the work of medical missionary as something personal, dear Lord, where we can put in our lives, and also as that right arm of the gospel, where we know that through medical missionary, we can win souls to you. Lord, help us to remember the main focus, Lord, which is not to live longer, but to so that your name will be glorified and we can have that clear mind in communicating with you. Thank you again for all that you do. I pray that you will be with us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so inflammation. So we will go into the reading. I'm so Lord. All right. All right, so we will go straight into the topic. I think the device that I'm using is not allowing my video to be on at the same time. Let me try again. All right, but let me not lose any time. Leviticus 17, verse 11, it says, let me look, right. Leviticus, let's turn our Bibles to Leviticus 17. All right, let me know if you're seeing me. Not. Are you
Yes,
seeing me?
we're seeing you.
Very clear.
Okay, great. All right, so Leviticus 17, verse 11, it says that for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your soul. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Right, so we see there a principle, which is the life of the flesh is what? Is in the blood. So we realize that so many people have so many different ailments, And that is because the blood itself is not pure, because we understand that for all life is in, the life of the flesh is in the blood, right? And we have what is called biomarkers. Now, biomarker basically, as it reads, these are, okay. So biomarkers, as it reads, these are, these basically are markers in the blood, and you can, and these identify different aspects of the blood molecule, and it shows basically how you can go about identifying certain illnesses, right? Now, as it reads, it says that when supplied with proper food, when supplied with proper food elements, and when cleansed and vitalized by contact with pure air, it carries life. Oh, my screen is jumping all over the place.
Did we lose Sister Williamson?
Yes, we did, but they're coming back on, or she's coming back on.
Yes, so I fell off just now. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, let me share back screen. So sorry about that. It was just jumping all over the place. All right, so yes, let me know when you're seeing the screen. So you're seeing the screen now?
Yes, it's up.
Yes. Yes. Up.
Okay, great. All right, so let's go right. Let's press on. All right, so as counsels to the church, it says, in order to have good health, we must have good blood. For the blood is the current of life. It repairs waste and nourishes the body. When supplied with the proper food elements and when cleansed and vitalized by contact with pure air, it carries life and vigor to every part of the system. The more perfect the circulation, the better will this work be accomplished. So we know that the life is in the blood from what we read through Leviticus. So it says now when we nourish the body, proper food, when we clean when we have clean and vital, when we are cleansed and vitalized by contact with pure air, it carries life and vigor to the system. And so it really causes us to ask the question, you know, are we exercising? Studies have shown that a lot of persons, they actually aren't breathing properly. They aren't. They're not getting enough oxygen. Most persons are congested because of inflammation. And so we know we aren't getting enough air. We aren't exercising to even help our bodies to expand, our hearts, our lungs to expand so that we can get enough oxygen to bring to the blood. So you see that most persons actually have poor circulation, right? So you see the calamity that we. All right, so we need pure fresh air, we need proper food, and we need good circulation. So pure air, the importance, a multitude of women, and this comes from CT, Councils on Temperance, I think, yeah. It says a multitude of women are nervous and careworn because they deprive themselves of the pure air that would make pure blood, and of the freedom of motion that would send the blood bounding through the veins, giving life, health, and energy. So if we find ourselves always nervous, careworn, you know, we need to go and get some exercise in. We need not only any air, but pure air, right? In order to have good blood, we must breathe well. And I spoke about that earlier. Full, deep inspiration of pure air, which fill the lungs with oxygen, purify the blood. So deep breathing. Are we breathing properly? Are we breathing correctly? Right? It's not just, you know, especially if you have on some weight, you realize that the breathing will be less. And so exercise, as I said, I can't stress on that, you know, is vital. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So exercise is vital.
Sister Shrees.
Yes.
You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Happy Sabbath. How do you breathe properly? What's the technique for that?
All right. So firstly, you ensure that it's kind of consciously, you ensure that you're taking deep breaths. So I have sat beside
Tracy, I'm muted.
You're muted, sis.
Okay, I realize when I turn on video, it gives me lots of issues. All right, so to assist you in breathing, it's always good to exercise, because when you exercise, your lung capacity increases, you naturally start breathing faster, even outside of exercising. And so your body naturally adjusts to, what oxygen level is needed. And so you breathe better. But you have to ensure that you free your body from issues like sinusitis, right? To ensure that you get rid of like sinusitis, because I've heard so many persons, they're breathing, but it's shallow, like, and you position yourself in a comfortable way. Yes, correct, right? So that you can actually breathe properly. So ensure that you're sitting upright, right? And as well as ensure that your posture and how you even stand is good. So yes, but I know that exercise, Brother Genus, you had something to add?
Oh, I just made a comment in the chat. As you said, position properly, inhaling through your nose and allowing all of that air to fill up your diaphragm. It's not something when I try it, I can't speak for myself. When I try it, it's something that requires much practice, because when I inhale, I just just inhale. But
Yeah.
what I'm getting is that when you inhale, that air should fill up your diaphragm. So your stomach is almost as if it's almost as if your stomach is expanding when you do that inhale, and then you exhale through your mouth. But again, it requires practice and that level of awareness or consciousness.
Correct. All right. So correct. Right. So I'm back at sharing screen again. Yes. But in the meantime, we realize that pure air, and so that is the reason why we even are called to country living, because you realize that living in the city, I don't know, but pure air just does not exist. Especially persons who live in Kingston. Once you reach like near where Riverton is or the surrounding communities, man, you realize that that's not pure air at all, right? So that's why we are even called to country living. All right, so to the presentation. All right, so we spoke about pure air just now. I know we're going to, okay. In order to have good blood, we must breathe well, full deep inspiration of pure air. And we spoke about that as well, right? A good respiration soothes the nerves, it stimulates the appetite, it renders digestion more perfect, and it induces sound, refreshing sleep. So having sleep issues, try breathing properly, right? And that's why persons who after exercising you realize that you can sleep better. Yes, right? So we're going to nutrition now. The grains in order to make good blood, the system requires good food. The foundation of that which keeps people in health is a medical missionary work of good cooking. So good blood, that is vital, and many persons that we don't think about the blood, right? Many bloods have fungus in them. Imagine your blood cells, they have fungus in the blood. And what would cause that? How do you know about these things when you have cravings for like chocolate and sweet stuff? That can be a sign that you have fungus in the blood, parasite in the blood. Yeah, you can have parasites living like small worm-like parasites in your blood. So we have to ensure that our nutrition is good so that we can feed the blood. And when we feed the blood good things, these parasites and fungus and all, they are thrown off, right? So the grains with fruits, nuts, vegetables contain all the nutritive properties necessary to make good blood. The elements are not so well or so fully supplied by a flesh diet. Had the use of flesh been essential to health and strength, animal food would have been included in the diet appointed man in the beginning, right? So we see that flesh food, one of the ways to have good blood is not having a flesh diet. That's why it wasn't given in the first place, right? In the beginning. So these are some anti-inflammatory diets. Some food, you have plant protein, soybeans, and some persons, if it's GMO soy, it will cause inflammation, right? So if you can get organic tempeh, organic, like tofu from organic soy, beans and stuff, you get your protein. Fruits such as avocados, berries, melons, citrus fruits, these are anti-inflammatory foods. Fish such as, oh, this is, you know,
Mr.
worldly.
Sharish,
Yes.
Mr. Sharish, what is tempeh? This is the first I'm hearing that word.
Yeah, I
What is
haven't looked
tempeh?
into it. I haven't looked it up. I haven't looked it up as yet. So
I think
whole
it's a
grain.
soy preparation. I don't understand it too clearly myself. I think it's a soy preparation.
Oh, okay. But I'll definitely look it up. Right. So you have whole grains and starchy vegetables such as winter squash and sweet potato. These are anti-inflammatory. And sometimes I must say that when you have inflammation from these food, it just means that something is there. I've seen so many persons who have allergic reaction to everything, and they're like, how comes? This is because your body is out of whack. There's something that is in your body that is causing you to have all these allergic responses to stuff. And we will go on and see that one of these things can be fat, you know, and you realize persons with many like allergic reactions, super allergic reactions are weighty, they're obese, right? So to beat inflammation, 9 food to beat inflammation, you have your avocado, you have your kale, your broccoli, you have your lemon, your berries, your sweet potato, your squash, your pumpkin, whole grains, pineapple, turmeric. Turmeric is very good for inflammation. It's very good. It has something called curcumin, which is very good. And studies have shown how this actually reverses Alzheimer's. So you can look up on these studies, right? Right. So the top 15 inflammatory food. Yes, so we must avoid anything that has in milk, anything that has in dairy, you should avoid, right? You have fries, these GMO potatoes, biscuits. We have baking sodas in biscuits, so that's not good for our stomach. And whatever affects stomach health will affect your health, right? So as the famous saying, all diseases start in the gut. So you definitely, sugar, not good at all. All right, so good circulation. A good circulation purifies the blood and secures health, while a poor circulation renders the blood impure and induce congestion of the vital organ. In idleness, the blood does not circulate freely, and the changes in the vital fluid so necessary to health and life do not take place, right? So you don't idleness, poor circulation. We don't want that, and we know that how important exercise is. We know how important brisk walking is, right? So we as God's people, we shouldn't really have any circulatory problem, right? Because the food, we would have been eating good food, we would have been exercising, we would have godly trust, we would have been making use of the herbs that God has given to us. So, right, so I'm just gonna go through some of the illnesses that occur and, the reason for and how inflammation connects to these. All right, so inflammation, what is it? I'm talking about inflammation. What is it? It's a Latin for set a fire. So when anything happens, when any foreign substance is in the body, what happens is that your body naturally has produced chemicals and different changes. You have redness, pain, heat, swelling occurs. So as to tell you that, hey, something is happening in your body, but that's the natural way of the body ridding bacteria, viruses, and different stuff, right? Or yeah, right? So it says, but in other cases like heart disease, Alzheimer's, and diabetes, it's not so obvious, right? If you didn't go looking for it with tests, you wouldn't even know it's there. So you have heart diseases, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. Inflammation is happening there, but you wouldn't necessarily know because so you would have to get tested for these things, right? But inflammation, we know it's actually good. It's part of the immune system's natural response to heal an injury or fight an infection. So, like for example, a study came out that, I think I shared it before, but let me share it again. A study came out that milk, why do you have juvenile diabetes? And a study came out that our pancreas has beta cells, and these produce insulin. Now the cow's milk has a similar protein. It's identical to that of the beta cell. So when we feed a baby cow's milk, the body has an immune response, right? So it goes, it sees the target, and it sends out some chemicals to fight off these bad things. But guess what? The protein in that causes the immune response in the milk, it also resembles that in the pancreas. So what does it do? It says, hey, I see some cells over there that resemble this cow cell. So let's go attack it as well. And so we have babies and adults as well who don't have these cells or have a small amount of these cells to make insulin, right? So we know inflammation, that's something that we should always, do our research on because it's very, very critical. And please feel free to ask any question before I close. All right, so harmony, we see the concept of harmony in the body. Ephesians 4 verse 6, it says, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplied, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, make it increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. So we see unity there. That's a principle. We see unity. And so it's the same thing. When one part of the body is thrown off, it throws off other sections of the body. All right, so we're gonna see how inflammation affects or causes heart attack. And I was doing some research outside of this, and it says that our fats, and that is the reason why persons who are obese, or you don't have to be obviously obese, because you can have slim persons who look slim but they're actually fat. When you look around their tummy, their obliques, it's fatty. Yes, they are fat even though they look slim, right? So it shows that the cells or fat cells, and I should have put it in this, our fat cells are actually responsible for many other things outside of storing fat, right? And so when our fat cells, when we get too fat, I could be fat, everybody knows that I'm slim, but I could be overweight and I still look slim, right? So when you have a lot of fat in the cells, what happens sometimes is the fat itself, it dies. And so our bodies send out these immune response. And what happens is that because of the severity of the inflammation, the arteries, they just get blocked. And sometimes you already have fat in the arteries already, right? So they get blocked, the cells die, and you get a heart attack. So it's very vital that we check. We don't overeat, be temperate, switch your diet. I tell someone who said that they want to lose weight, I said one sure shot way of losing weight is to switch to a vegetarian diet. And they're like, I love my meat. And I'm like, okay, then that's it, right? So we spoke about inflammation and diabetes just a while ago. Alzheimer's, many persons have Alzheimer's because of which is a chronic brain inflammation, right? And this is seen in persons with dementia. So scientists they haven't yet understood everything and how it works, but inflammation may play an active role in the disease. Experts are studying whether anti-inflammatory medicines will curb Alzheimer's. But for me, I've seen where through studies where turmeric would have reversed Alzheimer's, but you have to study that on your own, right? Do those studies. Don't just take what the doctors say. The gut connection, inflammation, it says chronic inflammation is tied to ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, which are types of inflammatory bowel disease, right? It happens when your body's immune system mistakenly attacks the healthy bacteria in your gut. Wow, and causes inflammation that sticks around. You could have symptoms such as belly pain, cramping, diarrhea, right? So as I said, I would advise each and every one to go on a cleanse. Right, Sister Nelson?
Yes, sis.
Right, because you can have stuff lodged, you can have stuff in your blood that is causing you to always have these allergic reactions, which causes inflammation, right? You can. And so cleansing the body, it's like you have a dirty bottle and you set out a day to say, you know what, I'm gonna clean this bottle. And you scrub and you scrub, you use your bleach, you use a disinfectant, you use everything and you scrub, and when you finish, it's partly clean. It's the same thing with your body. If you abuse your body throughout the years, and you as in all of us, right? There are things that are there in your blood. Maybe you have been feeding your blood fungus food, and the fungus, they're multiplying, and they're having a good time because you keep feeding it these sweet stuff. Who I feel for chocolate, and you eat up the chocolate. Who I feel for sweet thing, and you eat up this and you eat up that, and you're feeding the fungus in your blood, and you're there, you look healthy and everything, but guess what? When you get a little older, you start developing inflammatory stuff like Alzheimer's, rheumatoid arthritis, and you're like, what is happening to me? So we have to cleanse, go on a thorough cleanse, cleansing of the body, right? So you have rheumatoid arthritis. All right, I know I have 5 minutes left, but let me just zoom in a little on rheumatoid arthritis. It says what many people think of as arthritis is osteoarthritis, right? That's what our grandparents suffer from, in which the tissue, yes, thanks Sashoy, the sweet stuff leads to an overgrowth of yeast, yes. In which the tissue that cushions the joints cartilage breaks down, particularly as people get older. Rheumatoid arthritis is different. In rheumatoid arthritis, the immune system attacks your body's joints, causing inflammation that can harm them and even the heart. Symptoms include pain, stiffness, and redness, warm, swollen joints, right? So that's rheumatoid. It's not osteoarthritis, but rheumatoid arthritis, right? So as I said, go into your case studies. Studies have shown where curcumin and they give the dosage and everything can help with these things, right? And of course, you need to cleanse your body. Go on a cleanse program. Some things you can write these things down. Some things that when you're doing a cleanse, you can focus on are the cleansing of the colon first, cleansing the colon, the liver and kidney, parasite cleanse, and parasite cleanse you have Mimosa pudica, which is shame old lady, the seeds from it. You can use that as well because you can use papaya and the pumpkin seed, but what it does, it chokes and kills the worms, but it would still leave the eggs, right? So Mimosa pudica, which is shame old lady, the seeds of them, you can use it and it kills both the worm and its eggs, right? So parasites, so you cleanse the colon first, liver and kidney, then parasites, heavy metal cleansing. Yeah, that's another. So ensure that you focus on these 4 when you're doing a cleanse, right? So in concluding, so it says the only hope of better things is the education of the people in right principles. Let physicians teach the people that restorative power is not in drugs, but in nature. Disease is an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. In case of sickness, the cause should be ascertained, which that is not happening now. You go to the doctor, you say, doctor, I have pain, fever, and stuff. What is the first line of medication? Give you some antibiotics, right? If that's not working, they give you a stronger antibiotic, not necessarily ascertaining the cause. Right, so unhealthful conditions should be changed, wrong habits corrected. Then nature is to be assisted in her effort to expel impurities and to reestablish right conditions in the system. Right, so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask.
Hi, Sister Cherise.
Yes, let me stop
Happy
sharing.
Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Just a question on the tempeh. If the tempeh is fermented food, then it being fermented, the question now is, would that be healthy for us?
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Sister Trish. I must say that this presentation is my husband's presentation. He did this and I was like, Trish, you can share this. So where tempeh is concerned, I didn't really go into details. I didn't look at it, right? So if it's fermented food, definitely we don't eat that. So my apologies. Yes, thank you so much for that, Sister Trish. Any other questions?
Hi, good morning, Sister Williamson.
Good morning. Happy Sabbath.
Sister Norma, happy Sabbath. Sister Normaline here. Back up to the 15 unhealthy foods. I see a picture of something looking like peanuts. So I'm just wondering, peanuts is unhealthy?
Roasted. The roasted
Oh, the-
ones, I know many persons will disagree, right? But roasted peanuts is actually in the category of unhealthy food. But as I said that, yeah.
So,
And
so
it's-
it would be, so it would be best if we eat it raw.
Yes, yes. Studies actually have shown that when it's roasted, you have a lot of allergic. You have most persons being more allergic to it roasted than when they have it raw.
Okay, so what about the salt one? What about those that you buy in the pack? That is salted or unsalted. That's not good either.
Well, we know the salted one is definitely not good. But as I said that studies have shown that when it's roasted, it causes a lot of more allergic reactions. Some persons it's very severe in, some it's not. So that
Sis-
in that category.
Okay, thank
Sister
you.
Cherise, can I make a point also with the roasted peanuts? A lot of the times they are roasted with oil. So some of the times, if you keep them too long, it have that scent, like that oily scent. And recently, doing my own research, it has shown that persons who have allergies really peanut is one of the foods that they should avoid. Also wheat.
Yes.
So a lot of times persons have allergies and do that one. Peanut is a culprit that a lot of people wouldn't know about. Also, the wheat or the gluten. So you just have to eat and check and see what food you eat that your body really reacts negatively to. Not that peanut is bad in and of itself.
Yes, and sometimes, yeah. So as brother or sister Gina posted in the chat, it says roasted peanuts have the tendency to lower your LDL, which is really very harmful to your heart, and the risk will be much higher if you consume peanuts daily or very frequently. Yes, so thank you so much for that. Any other questions or comments?
So, Sister Cherise, on the peanut topic. So if you
Yeah.
get your raw peanut fresh from the garden and you toast it without the oil, wouldn't that be better? Eating it fresh, we're not letting it sit now. We're not using any oil.
Yes, okay. All right, the thing about it is that it depends on how you prepare it, because you have toxins. I mean, it depends on how you prepare it, right? And sometimes, as I said, it's not even the peanuts itself, but the toxins. So if you say most persons they have I don't know the container or whatever they use, but you have what is called benzoapyrene, and these are things that are produced when sometimes when you roast and you maybe scorch or burn, and you have those things. They are very cancer producing. So as I said, it depends. So if you have an allergic reaction to peanuts, then it's good that you try it raw. If you still have, you just leave it alone. Right? But that's what I from studies, I realized that it's very, very it's mucus producing as well, the roasted peanuts.
How do I do on the peanut issue? I'm listening, and I'm thinking on the green ones. How do you prepare it to have it? Do you just open it and eat it as is, or is there a way to have it healthily?
Okay. Well, I have a supplier, and I just eat them like that. I just they just, yeah, you just take it out the pot and eat it.
Because I'm told that you need to soak it like you do peas.
Oh,
So
okay.
the same way the peas give off its gas, the peanuts do the same, even as
Okay.
it is raw.
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. Definitely look into it. I'm just looking at the chat. It says,
Okay.
okay, it is advised to soak first. This works for most persons who may have a reaction to it. Okay. If you don't, then go ahead and eat it raw. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
And yes, so yeah, that's it. And liver cleanse, I think Omar Roxanne posted something that you can do for liver cleanse. The only thing is that I would advise that persons use a straw when you consuming lemon, because it's acidic to the teeth, right? So you use a straw and so on. So all right, thank you. Let us pray to close and pass over back to our host. Our kind Heavenly Father, as we come before you, we thank you for another session. Lord, I pray that whatever we learn, Lord, that we will take it for ourselves, Lord, and incorporate it where we ought to. Lord, thank you for your people. Thank you for your medical missionary work. And I ask that as we go throughout the course of the day, be with the presenters, different programs, Lord, I pray that you will be with them. Have your way with us, we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, passing back over to you, Sister Sashoy.
Amen, sis.
All right, thank you, Sister Shrees.